Hello and welcome back to the Canary Chat channel. Obviously, we had the breaking news yesterday that Liam Manning has been sacked and relieved of his duties as Norwich City head coach. So, similar to transfer window, thought we'd come on, we'll do updates around kind of any manager rumours, go through kind of who's the current favourite and things like that. We obviously did that when Thorpe was sacked as well. And yeah, obviously it's very early days. There's some rumours flying about and some interesting names being kind of put within the bookmakers' odds around kind of who could potentially be that new head coach. So let's get straight into it. We'll work from, let's say, the bottom up to the top for the most favourites. So regarding some slightly, there's kind of 4 front runners at the moment, and then there's a few names close to those, but just a little bit further away than kind of those 4 are bunched up together. You've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's obviously managed Manchester United. He had a stint at Cardiff as well. You have Corberan, who didn't do amazing out in Spain, but at West Brom he is kind of loved there. And then you also have Steven Gerrard, who obviously has his kind of Aston Villa days. He has his Rangers experience, and then he obviously went over to Saudi Arabia as well. So 3 names, 3 fairly relatively known names as well in regards to kind of English football or Championship football. For me, if I was going to pick one of those 3, it'd be Corberan. I don't think, however, he will be the team that will join. So there was rumours that he was coming back to the Championship at some point within the next month after his stint at Valencia didn't go very well. So yeah, now rumours that he is coming back to the Championship. I believe Middlesbrough are actually favourites now for him to go to. Obviously, with Rob Edwards looking like he's off to Wolves, yeah, it looks like we're gonna probably lose out on Corberan if we are ever interested in him. And then as I said, you've got Gerrard and Solskjaer, 2 names that maybe don't kind of really excite me. If I was going to go with one, I'd probably go Solskjaer over Gerrard, just purely because he did relatively well at Manchester United. Gerrard did okay-ish with Villa. He done well with Rangers as well, but I think if I was going to have to pick one for like the here and now, it would be Solskjaer for me. Regarding the next kind of batch, so the 4 that are quite close together, just quickly, about 65% of the people watching this video are not subscribed, so we've set a very audacious goal of trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you want to keep across all these new manager updates and you want to support the channel on this journey, click the subscribe button down below. The 4th favourite currently is Russell Martin, obviously former Norwich City captain, stint at Saints, Swansea, MK Dons. He did progress them all, even if his kind of Premier League know-how with Southampton wasn't very good. And then he's obviously had a terrible time up in Scotland with Rangers. And yeah, he is being linked back with a move back to Championship. He's been heavily linked with returning to Southampton as well. A very, as I said, possession-based manager, will build up from the back. He is quite set in his ways on how he wants to play. Is that potentially another issue? We've just come out of a Liam Manning who was set in his ways on what he wanted to do. That didn't necessarily work. So would having another manager similar to that maybe not be the right approach? And that is also as well, you've got to think off the back of another huge switch of play style. Going from Liam Manning to Russell Martin is a huge difference. So for me, wouldn't be up there. The 3 above him, I'd probably take over him. And yeah, I'd certainly take Corberan over Martin as well. But Martin's currently 4th. 3rd, you've got Michael Carrick. So obviously his main experience is the Middlesbrough job. He took them over when they're about 21st in the league, and then I think won 16 out of the next 23 or 25 games or so, to kind of propel them up the table. And it's a very similar story, I think, to what we're going through at the moment. I don't think that point in time Middlesbrough should expected to be around there, and the fact that obviously we're not expected really to be where we're currently sitting. Could Carrick be the man that turns that around? I think he would demand quite a lot of respect from the team as well, which I think has also been lacking over the recent weeks. Yeah, I think for me, Carrick would be a very kind of tidy option. Obviously, he's also a free agent. I think all of these are free agents at the moment. Yeah, I think all of them are free agents at the moment. So we've obviously just paid Liam Manning out of a huge contract, and there was talks of us we should go for Mark Robbins or someone along those lines. And for me, you'd then have to be paying a huge amount as well for compensation. That's even if Mark Robbins, who, let's be honest, is doing amazing at Stoke, you wouldn't want to pass up Stoke potentially going up for struggling Norwich anyway. But it goes with any manager that's currently in a job. We'd have to obviously pay that compensation or pay him out of his contract. And I think with the money we've spent on Liam Manning, I know money's less of an issue now with the new owners. I still think financially maybe not the wisest decision. So Carrick's third. And then the second favourite, which I was surprised about, kind of linking back to the money because I think his wages would be huge, was Brendan Rodgers, his second favourite. He obviously comes with huge experience with Liverpool, Leicester, Swansea, Celtic, like huge experience across British football. And I think, again, he would demand respect. You don't do what he's done in management without then getting respect off the back of it. I think as well as that, he can be more adaptive than the likes of Martin when it comes to style of play. And yeah, for me, would be a statement of intent. The issue is actually, I know by bookies, he is second favourite. I don't really know where that's come from because, as I said, wages would be high. Going from Celtic, who've been playing European football, to Championship football in a relegation scrap, I think he'll probably think he is better than that. I think he'll probably still think he could get a lower Premier League job, or at the very least a high Championship job. So I'd be a little bit shocked if that was to be the case, but I do think it would be a huge statement of intent from Norwich to whack down a short contract, like a 2-year contract, or 18-month contract, big wages, be like, get us out of here, build for next year, and then we can look at reviewing your contract again. I think that'd be a huge statement of intent. And then number one favourite at this point in time is, unsurprisingly, former player Gary O'Neill. So he's obviously just rejected Wolves due to the short-term issues of the contract. But there are rumours and reports going around that Norwich have supposedly approached him to see if he'd be interested in the job. I believe he did also have an interview in the kind of early summer before we went with Liam Manning. So it does seem a little bit potentially of an odd one for him to go, I'm happy to go for the job which you originally told me I wasn't good enough for. But I do think he would, rightly or wrongly, galvanise the players, and his style of football isn't the best in places, and I think again that's what we've struggled with Liam Manning. But I do think he would instill a sense of fight into the team, and I think our approach now needs to be adapted to the situation we're in. We're in a relegation fight at this point in time. We need a manager that would get us through that, and motivate players. And I think Gary O'Neill could certainly do that. As I said, all these names being mentioned, it could be someone really kind of left field that we've never even heard of, like Thorup, for example. The issue for me is that Ben Napper, by the looks of it, is going to be appointed the new manager or new head coach, and he's also supposedly Rob Butler was kind of assuming that he's also going to get January, which is also a big worry with how recruitment has hindered Manning. Could we have the same again here with these managers? I think when Liam Manning was appointed, it seemed like the safe option and it didn't go to plan. But the matter of the fact is that because it didn't go to plan, that sits with Ben Napper. I think if you go with Martin, the fan base is immediately split 50-50 on for him and against him. I don't think that would be overly the wisest move. There is a potential stunning move that could happen to get fans on side and try and take the pressure off Napper, which could be if Leeds lose today. There's already pressure on Farke. Farke gets sacked. Does he go knocking on his door? I think you would immediately get fans on side. However, Farke and Webber worked very well together, that relationship, and you obviously had Scott as well doing the recruitment, getting those hidden gems. Is that going to work for Farke here again? Potentially not. So certainly not the end of this kind of manager merry-go-round that we'll be talking about. Some interesting names that I thought we'd definitely jump on and discuss. The Brendan Rodgers one. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments around Brendan Rodgers and would you have him at Norwich? And yeah, we'll keep doing these manager updates when any kind of new names come up or if anyone's kind of pulling away from the pack being favourite. As always, if you've liked the video, leave a like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.